What's up, TRC fans? Don't miss our upcoming event, TRC Street Kings at Palm Beach International Raceway.
Hey guys, it's J-Rod with TRC. We're in the 405, my home, Oklahoma. We're going to be bringing you some feature cars in 2020 and beyond of local homegrown street cars here in Oklahoma. Today we're going to be featuring my good friend Sean's 2007 Subaru. We're here at Misfire Motorsports, his place of business. We're going to take this car out behind me. We're going to go drive it on the street, see what kind of trouble we can get into. I think the car makes between 700 and 800 horsepower. I've actually known this car since it was bone stock, like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago when he got it. So follow along. This should be a really awesome feature. Hope you guys enjoy it. So how much power do you think the car's making?
I would assume somewhere between 700 and 800.
How much boost is it on?
42 pounds on a 72 millimeter.
On the street, that's what it makes?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it's a Super 99?
Super 99, Force Performance.
It makes 42 pounds in the summertime. It's 30 degrees today. It's probably going to make some boost.
It will, hopefully. We'll see.
What's your boost cut set at?
45.
45?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I think. I don't know. Ben handles all that stuff, but we just usually get in it and drive it. He's really good about setting the limitations and stuff like that, but it is a little bit chilly out today, and only one way to find out.
Yep. This car's not horribly loud, but it definitely has its own unique sound.
Yeah, it does. Thanks to the help of Grant Smith. It had just a normal 3-inch catback exhaust, and then one day he took it on himself to custom fab a 4-inch aluminum from the downpipe back, and that made a huge difference in sound and also the way it runs. Heck yeah, man! Yes, sir. We built it. Yeah, thanks, man. Same one, man. Yeah, we're about to make another video for this one, so keep an eye out for it. It's about between 700 and 800, depending on the day. So. Yeah, fully 85. Yep. Built motor, fuel system, stock trans, stock rear end, all that good stuff. So. Yeah, man. Thank you. I love your car too. Do it? Yeah, it's mostly just drag. Yeah. Take it easy, man. Something.
What? Oh, you got a car coming up on you. What is that?
Looks like a foxbody.
It's running.
Should we run?
What do you want to do? I did it. That was a hell of a run. What are the freaking odds? We get a dude in a Volkswagen pull up on us, knows about the car, knows about Misfire, and we get a random 4i foxbody that we actually know the guy, but it was a completely random and run-in. The car, I'm not exactly the setup. I think it's a foxbody coyote car on a blower, but we gave him the sauce. I mean, I don't think he's expecting a little 4-cylinder to come around him on the big end. That was pretty epic. He didn't hit boost cut, so I think we're good on boost.
Yeah, felt pretty good.
Totally random.
Yeah.
Now driving around cars, just
that's the beauty of living in Oklahoma. I swear, it's like
everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows everybody, and it's all for good fun.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of it.
I think he's falling for a little more fun.
Man, I don't think he wants it. Rob, I would turn, buddy.
Oh, this would be interesting to see where this goes from this light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is truly the good thing about Oklahoma. It's such a small state. I mean, there's more people in the DFW Metroplex than there is in the entire state of Oklahoma. So a lot of the car guys here, we all know, or we know each other's setup. So obviously running into someone on a Sunday afternoon is not completely out of the question.
Yep.
So it was pretty cool to get a random run in. He's still following us, so we'll see if we can't maybe get us an impromptu run again. So that was pretty fun. We ran into a good friend of ours, Rob, with this stupid clean 4-eyed Fox. Obviously the Subaru did what we thought it may do, but this car is pretty badass. What's up, buddy? What's up, dude? Good seeing you. What's this? Oh, so coyote car.
Coyote swap with the Department of Boost GT500 blower kit.
Okay. So were you spinning on that hit, or?
I was.
Yeah.
And I came in to hear my car because it missed.
I mean, look at this thing. This thing's sick. The f***ing hell. So it's got a tire on it. Are you down to dig race it?
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. So we got a 4-eyed Fox on a, what looks like, what, a 275?
325.
325 radial versus the Subaru on 4 radials. Who you guys riding with? We're gonna go do this. Well, our random encounter with this Fox body is gonna turn into a race. So you got your game face on?
I do.
Give me your game face.
Yeah, I might heat my tires up though.
Okay, go for it. I think they're sticky. There's a truck behind us. Let's make a loop. You gonna do a burnout?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, you ready?
My name is Sean Abedi. This is my 2007 WRX STI. I got this car in March of 2010, bone stock, and this is how it is now. I've always been a fan of turbos and all-wheel drive cars, and for the price point, they were just kind of hard to beat. And here we are. I never really thought that my passion would end up being my business, but it's kind of a niche market and not very many people mess with these cars around here, and I never really had an option or another shop to take my car to that was local, and I figured that that could be a really good option for other local Subaru enthusiasts to have somebody and somewhere to take their car, to have their car tuned, built, worked on, routine maintenance, so on and so forth. Misfire Motorsports is a one-stop shop from routine maintenance all the way up to builds like the STI behind us. So we finished a few. There's one that we just recently finished up. It was a 2016 Hyper Blue STI that we did for Jordan. That's got a Misfire Motorsports Stage 4 block and our Stage 3 heads, powered by a Force Performance Zero turbocharger. We also just finished up a 2012 WRX for Nick. That's also got a Misfire Motorsports Stage 4 block, Stage 3 heads, and it's powered by a Borg-Warner S369. In 2010, March of 2010, I bought it bone stock. It had about 35,000 miles on it. I drove it like that for a while. Obviously, nobody likes driving a stock car So from then it went to a stage 2 setup, which is very common for the Subaru guys. It was a downpipe, full exhaust, intake, and a tune. Really fun setup for a daily driving, 04 to 07 STI. They make about 280 to 300 wheel. Really fun and zippy. Then I decided to upgrade the turbocharger and fuel system. We had done it was an FP Red, a set of 1000cc injectors, and a tune. Drove it like that for a long time. Loved that setup. It ran flawless. It was about a 440 horsepower setup. Then after that, decided to take it a little bit further, and we did another built engine with a S366. Probably one of my favorite setups on that car for a street car wise. Super consistent, super fun, and I ran a whole bunch of stuff. And then that's whenever we took it to the next level, which is where it is today, and it's got the Misfire Motorsports Stage 4 block, Stage 3 heads, and a Force Performance 72. Super 9 ounce. On this setup right now, it's our MMS4 short block. That includes a Manley billet crankshaft, Manley turbo tough connecting rods, Manley pistons with the upgraded wrist pins. It's got 1/2-inch head studs. The block itself is LA sleeves with a copper O-ring on top, and the cylinder heads have been ported. It's got GSC 280 cams, springs and retainers from them as well, HKS header, and the Pad Fab OKC turbo kit on it. The fuel system is a fuel cell with a MagnaFuel 750 and Deechworks 2200cc injectors. It's a Haltech 1500, and it's tuned by Ben West to BW Tuning. The car has mostly been street driven and raced, and we're kind of changing that into more of a drag oriented setup. So right now it's got just some basic coilovers, factory BBSs, and the Hoosier DR2s, a 245/45/17. Works really well for what the setup is now, but we're just planning on doing the drag brakes and 15s. The goals are, obviously, you always set the bar high. We'd like to see the car go 8s at some point. That's our goal for this particular car. So we really haven't had a really good pass put together for the car. It's a mile an hour in the high 140s. But once we work on our 60-foot, 8th mile, stuff like that, once we do redo the suspension, wheels, brakes, tires, stuff like that, we will shoot for a stronger ET. So it's got heater, radio, all that stuff from factory, power windows, glass. It's got a bone stock 07 STI gearbox, axles, and rear differential. We've never touched any of that stuff, and it's bone stock. The way it's set up, so we added a cage. Grant Smith, the shop manager here at Misfire Motorsports, he handles all of our fab and in-house fab and stuff like that, and he's the one that did the roll cage inside. So we did add a little bit of weight, but also lost some by doing the fuel cell and taking out unnecessary stuff like AC and little things here and there. ABS, it's got manual brakes and stuff like that. So I would assume just a little bit less than a stock STI would be.
So tell me, like, the craziest thing you've ever done. You've ever got like sport bike kills, been out hunting on the weekends, caught a hold of a twin turbo Lamborghini or any Vipers or anything like that?
Yeah, we that's one thing that I really enjoy doing with this car, is doing a lot of street racing with it. And we've done that stuff. Yes, I love racing motorcycles, and any, Subarus are always the underdog, so it's always fun to come out with a W against cars because it's very unsuspecting. Not a twin turbo Lamborghini, but maybe one day. So actually, growing up, my parents have been in the car business and car industry my entire life. So that's basically what got me into cars initially, and got me familiar with cars, working on cars. So I've been wrenching at a really young age until now, and that's wherever I decided to take it to the next level because it's something that I really enjoy doing. And here we are. Subarus are kind of always been the underdog in the car community, and kind of get like a bad reputation with their reliability. They can't make enough power, blah, blah, blah. So I always like that uphill battle, if you will. And buying this car bone stock to where it is now, it's just been a really fun experience and very informative and learning for us and for the shop to basically go with industry standard products and put out a product that's reliable and can make power that somebody can just walk to the front door and buy for themselves. So we're kind of changing that perspective on Subarus.
about some of the notable cars you had done before. We left this one out. Obviously, this car, a lot of people may know this car. This is Asian from Street Outlaws, Dung Beetle. When it came in here, it was still a air-cooled Volkswagen turbo car. It's completely different now. We're ready to show the world what it is. Can you give us a little rundown on what you did?
Yeah, so when Asian first came to us, he talked about how he wasn't happy with the inconsistency of the car. It wasn't very reliable, and it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do every single time. And the type of racing that they do, that is crucial. So our idea was to basically, our specialty, which is Subarus, was to swap it with the EJ powered setup. So we did that. It drove in air-cooled and left Subaru powered for SEMA last year. The Beetle never left the shop once in that entire duration, so the entire project from start to finish was completed here at Misfire Motorsports with the help of BW Tuning and Jeffrey Lutz for the exhaust manifold and the turbo setup. Grant Smith here with Misfire Motorsports, he's the one that set up the entire rear suspension from Ron Loomis Racing. He fully welded everything, custom fab whatever needed to be fabbed up, and set it all up to where it's perfect. Set up the motor mounts. The motor plate itself and how it's all set up in there is all because of Grant. We also set up our custom shifter in there for the ratchet style shifter that he wanted to get. So the setup on it now is a built EJ25 Subaru engine with a VW bus transmission. We're going to try it out and see how it does. The turbocharger is a Turbonetics 62. I'm sorry. And between us three, we figured out that we came to the conclusion that it's a good turbocharger to start out with, and that's the same turbocharger the air-cooled engine had. Ben West from BW Tuning did the complete wiring harness on this car from scratch. It is Haltech powered with a PDM with a smart wire.
So the end goals for it, obviously we know that No Prep Racing and Street Outlaws didn't like to tell what kind of horsepower they make or their times. Being from the Subaru world, what kind of power do you think a 62mm will make on this motor?
So that's a really good question, and the answer to that we have is making horsepower is probably the easiest part with this car. Our main goal is to basically make it work for him, and for it to be reliable and consistent. If it does that with 400 horsepower, we'll do that. If it does it with 500 horsepower, we can do that.
And if I'm not mistaken, the air cooled was carbureted, right? Is like a blow?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And Grant and I, we set up the entire front radiator system so where it is water cooled. So it's fully set up with a fan and the radiators up front. Then you got your fuel cell and an air-to-water intercooler system that we set up as well.
So the car came in air-cooled, it came in carbureted, and it came in really not very streetable. It's leaving fuel-injected, air-to-water cooled, and probably a lot better street manners.
Oh yeah, like literally when this car fires up and runs, it runs like literally like a bone stock STI would. I mean, it's honestly unbelievable.
Drive-by-wire?
Drive-by-wire, yep. It's got a 2008 STI gas pedal to where it's drive-by-wire, and all that's calibrated through the computer, the Haltech by Ben West, and I mean, so far it's reacting really well.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks for kind of sharing that information with us. We won't go into complete details and see the car driving. Obviously, they need to stay tuned for Discovery Channel to see that. But hey, thanks for showing us around the shop.
Absolutely. Thank you.